Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Pavani. I hope you are doing good, dear friends. Today is Saturday. We have two articles to go through. The first one is Overnight Flip-Flop. It is about India's decision to cancel this bilateral meeting that we were going to have on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly. That is going to take place in near future now, right? So it was in news yesterday. I think we have discussed about this thing. But the matter of concern here is the reasons that are provided by our country. So we are going to talk about it and we are going to analyze things going on between India and Pakistan and whether this decision that is taken by India to cancel this meeting is right or wrong. We'll try to understand this thing. And the second item that we have is seeking a managed exit. It's about Afghanistan, it's about USA, it's about India, Pakistan, China, Iran, Russia. So it's a very important article, and of course it is written by a very, you can say, a very important person as well. His name is Rakesh Sood, and we do discuss, we do analyze Rakesh Sood's articles because he has got practical experience in working in this field. He was our bureaucrat of our country, and so he has worked in this global field, I can say, and articles written by him are very good. So we have two articles today, and I have a word that I would like to, I would like to have a chat with you guys on this. Be a yardstick of quality, a statement that was said by Steve Jobs. Now, the only reason I'm discussing this thing is because today is Saturday, and as you can see that we have just two articles to go through. So I have a little bit of extra time here, 2-3 minutes. So very quickly, right, to be a yardstick of quality means whatever you are doing, whatever your main job is, you should try to achieve the highest possible quality. And I'm sure we all agree on this thing. Now the question is how? How you achieve that highest level of quality? There can be many different answers of this thing, but if you ask me, I think that the root of quality is focus. Whatever you do, as simple as brushing your teeth or having that morning cup of tea or anything, any simple thing, right? Riding your motorcycle or watching your television or listening to music, everything or anything that you do, if you pay attention, if you are focused, right, then you will get the maximum out of that thing, right? You will get the maximum. So when it comes to achieving quality, right, focus is a tool. Now the thing with focus is, it's just like your muscle. The more you train, the more you practice, the stronger it will get. It's not about willpower. Generally speaking, we expect that from the first day itself, I will have focus just like Swami Vivekananda. But that's not going to happen because you are a completely individual human being. You are unique as Swami Vivekananda, isn't it? So the thing is, you have your own experiences, you have your own habits. So you should, analyze first of all, like where you stand at present. And based on that thing, you should, based on where you are, you should move ahead. How much focus you need, whether you need to practice meditation or not, or what are the other methods that are available that can help me increase my focus. And if you do this thing, if you give it a go, then I believe that at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, when you will shut your books to say goodbye to the day, you will be satisfied. And just imagine if you have I'm not giving you utopian, this mythical world. I'm not saying that out of 365 days, all those days will be beautiful. No, that's not going to happen because you have not practiced or reached there. But at least, just imagine if you can have 300 days, right? They are productive out of 365. Then you will realize that it's going to change you forever, isn't it? So that's everything, dear friends. It was not a motivational thing, right? Let me clarify. It was purely for your preparation, how to prepare, right? And I have talked about a psychological tool called focus. Very important for your competitive exam or for any other thing. Now, on our pen drive and tablet courses, up to 50% discount till 23rd September is available. Make the most out of it. You know where to download, from where to download PDF of today's lecture, isn't it? So let's start our discussion. Overnight flip-flop. Now, this overnight flip-flop is about India and Pakistan. Yesterday, we talked about this thing. Remember that India said that we are going to have this bilateral meeting with Pakistan in New York on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly. Now, all of a sudden, India has decided that we are not going to have the thing because of two things. The first one is this consistent attacks that are taking place in Jammu and Kashmir. And the second one is that Pakistan Postal Services, they have issued new stamps, and these stamps are glorifying terrorism. Can you see here Burhan Wani and other people? Basically what these stamps are trying to project is that India is doing all this, conducting these atrocities on people of Jammu and Kashmir, and people of Jammu and Kashmir are not happy with India and things. That's what they are trying to. They are basically, they're not only showing half truth, they are basically presenting false items, in front of the people of Pakistan. So that's what the government, you can say, is doing, and these two things are one of the main reason why we have cancelled this whole meeting. Now, the question that we are asking today is that both of these reasons, are they valid enough to cancel this meeting? We'll find out. Now, a statement coming from Ministry of External Affairs, a spokesperson said that both acts, act number one, that is attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, and the second one is this one, of course, Pakistan Postal Service issuing this terror glorifying stamps, expose Pakistan's evil agenda and the true face, pay attention here, true face of the new Prime Minister of Pakistan, that is Imran Khan. And we have also said that having a chat or conversation with a country like Pakistan is going to be meaningless. Now, the reality is that this is not the first attack that took place in Jammu and Kashmir. Attacks are going on for a very long period of time. I don't know what exactly we are heading towards. When I say we, I mean to say I don't know why. What's the real reason behind the cancellation of this meeting? Because the reasons that are provided, they don't look that valid. Because starting from January 2018 till now, we are in September, isn't it? End of September nearly. So till now, what we find is we have lost 13 BSF officers on our, this borders because attacks coming from Pakistan. So this is not the first case. The second thing is 20 plus Jammu and Kashmir police personnel have been killed as well by terror attacks. So far, when I say so far, I mean to say starting from January till now, and there are other casualties as well. Civilian casualties are there, property damage and other things. So it's not something new. It's something that is going on for a very long period of time. Recently, Defense Minister of our country also came out with this statement that it's not that only Pakistan is killing our soldiers. We are doing the same thing, but we are doing it a bit more silently. So both the countries, if you read newspapers of Pakistan, you find things that are against India. If you read newspapers in India, we find things against Pakistan. But if we analyze this thing without keeping our emotions on side and being very rational here, right, you cannot have one hand clapping. But I'm not saying that India is doing something wrong. The reason I believe that India is not wrong is because India is not a country that will attack you. It's most of the time, 99% time, it is about our defense. We see things coming from Pakistan, and then we have to follow. Military tactics and their necessity is different from what we understand or the definitions that we have for our society. So at that level, battlefield, you have to follow different rules and regulations. But anyway, the good thing is that we are never, that attacking country. And Pakistan, of course, we know it's a breeding ground for all these activities. And the other reality is that these stamps are not published now. They are, out there since July 2018. So what we are doing about it, Vince, what we were doing so far, why we first agreed on this thing and now we are saying no to it. So it's a matter of concern here. We don't know what exactly is going on. But India should have something, India will be having something And this is one of the main reason why India has decided to cancel this thing. Now, it could be general election that is just around the corner, so that could be a thing as well. But India will never take a decision based on what's going to be. Means with Pakistan, when it comes to Pakistan, it's not a matter that is going on in any state of our country. It's not something that, of course, it's a big political issue for India and for Pakistan too. But we cannot. I'm sure government will never. Any government, UPA, NDA government, no one will, behave irresponsibly when it comes to Pakistan, because the things that you do today are going to be there. They will start a new chapter tomorrow. So that's a thing as well. Now, anyways, so this sort of provocations are something that we have observed all the time coming from Pakistan, but it's a bit difficult to digest this stand or this reason that we have given. And yesterday, what happened? The main trigger for this cancellation was this SPOs. SPOs are basically those police officers. They used to be terrorists earlier on. SPOs who are mostly former terrorists, as you can read on your screen. And this SPOs, they because they used to be terrorists and now they are working for the government. So they know in and out about terrorist organizations. So they are a big threat for terrorists and their organizations. So yesterday 3 of them were kidnapped and they were killed, and this acted as a trigger for India to cancel this whole bilateral meeting that was going to take place on the sidelines of United Nations General Assembly that is going to take place in near future. So I hope things are clear to you now on this thing. And one thing that we have to understand is that when we talk about Pakistan, it's not Imran Khan. We know it very well, right? It's the establishment. It's the army and ISI. They decide what is which direction Pakistan will go. So we have to create this environment, but of course, terror and talk cannot go together. Pakistan government will have to prove its caliber. If Mr. Imran Khan is claiming that he is going to, one of his important foreign policy is to develop good relationship with India, then he has to make sure that this army is not misbehaving in this way, and this sort of attacks should be stopped completely. But we have discussed about this thing, that you have excessive influence of the establishment on government of Pakistan, so it's going to be a bit difficult. So that's everything. Now let's crack on. We have another item: seeking a managed exit. Now we know that Afghanistan's president, he was here in India. He was here for a one-day visit, and yesterday I told you that one of the main agenda of his one-day visit was to explain or to win the confidence of India that listen, we are going to have a chat with Taliban. We don't have any other option. So we are going to have a chat with Taliban. We know that as a country, you will never appreciate this thing. Appreciate it in the sense you will never have a word with any terror organization. That's what India is, right? India, we have this strict policy that we never chat with terrorist organizations. But Afghanistan, things are different. So yesterday's visit could be, to explain us that Afghanistan, from their side, they would be saying, that we know that India as a country, you will never have a chat with Taliban, but for us, they are not aliens. They are part of this Afghan society. So we have to have a word with them. So this could be a reason for this one-day quick visit. India has issued this statement, and our stand is clear that as far as Afghanistan is concerned, or peace process of Afghanistan is concerned, it is Afghanistan that will decide what is right for them and what is wrong for them. So India has again reiterated an Afghan-led, Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled peace and reconciliation process. Right? So we are basically with Afghanistan as far as this peace process is concerned. Now, when we talk about Afghanistan, of course, we cannot, we cannot have a discussion if we don't talk about USA, if we don't talk about Pakistan and other organizations in other countries, isn't it? So we have this NATO forces, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the main, of course, the main or the strongest country in NATO is no doubt USA. Now, Mr. Trump came out with this Afghanistan policy last year, remember? And this policy talks about getting rid of Taliban and finishing the job as soon as possible. And once the job is finished, once this peace or tranquility is achieved, then everything will be looked after by Afghanistan government, complete control of Afghanistan government, and then this army and other officers and this whole military setup will be taken away, or will be basically will exit from Afghanistan. So from that point, means what we get, what we can make, or if we read between the lines, USA wants to get over this thing. It wants to finish this thing as soon as possible, because it's been a very long period of time. So many people from USA, they have sacrificed their lives as well. At the same time, nearly $1 trillion, can you believe this thing? $1 trillion sort of money has been spent by USA alone after this issue of Afghanistan to bring peace here. It's not that things are going on only in Afghanistan. At global level, you have so many other countries who are involved here, and there are, you play with, if you want to do something in Afghanistan, then you have to play around in Africa to do something over there to, so it's all part of this geopolitics. Anyways, our focus is this, that Taliban leadership, has been very aggressively behaving. It's an aggressive organization, but their intensity is very aggressive. We can feel it, every single day we find this item in news that you see 5 people have died in this part of Afghanistan, and this city of Ghazni has been attacked, and so many things. So in recent past, their tactics have been very aggressive. Apart from this Eid ceasefire, they have not followed ceasefire. They are not ready to have a ceasefire. So I believe what they are trying to achieve here is, before coming on to this negotiation table, they want to make sure that they have that weight. They have that weight so that this USA will just like Korea issue. We were talking about this issue, that if you want to have a negotiation with someone, then you need to have you should be equal, or else the other party is going to have an upper hand. So that's what it looks that Taliban is trying to create here. Now, Taliban and other organizations like Haqqani Network, they have some best buddies around. Their best buddy is Pakistani Army, and you have ISI, right, providing all this support and tactical support and other support to all these organizations. And this is one of the main reasons why we find this situation of Afghanistan today. Nearly 56% of population of Afghanistan is under the control of government of Afghanistan. Apart from that, you find nearly 44% of population is with this under the rule of Taliban, or you can say that they are living in those places where Taliban is having an upper hand or under their stronghold. Now, elections are due. Parliamentary elections are due since 2015, and presidential elections are due in April 2019. So clearly, the way things are going on, we can easily say that, safely say that it's not going to happen in near future, because this parliamentary elections that are due since 2015, they are going to take place. The date is October 2018, after a month, but it looks nearly impossible the way things are going on. Now, interesting thing is, early on USA was very aggressive on Taliban, but now USA is ready to have a chat with the Taliban. So it has already opened their its communication lines with Taliban. So it's a bit of you can say a strange thing here. And USA and Pakistan, their relationship in recent past, since Mr. Trump came in, he has talked about many times. On many occasions he has expressed his displeasure with Pakistan. But this is not the first time. If you go back 17 years. And if you analyze this 17 years of partnership of Afghanistan and Pakistan, beg your pardon, USA and Pakistan, after this 911 basically, what we find is Pakistan and USA, they have become a very important military partner, and Pakistan has placed itself, it's lucky enough, you can say, that its location is so strategic that USA has no option at all. As you can see here, if you want to enter Afghanistan, if you want to supply, if you want to create a supply route or for your communication route, then Iran is not a good option for USA. Neither is China, and all these countries here, they are pro-Russia. So the only option left with USA is Pakistan. And Pakistan knows this thing very well, that without Pakistan, USA cannot do anything or it cannot sort out its problem in Afghanistan. Now, if USA wants to exit this place, for Pakistan, USA is a cash cow, right? It's just like that story, rather than chopping off your chicken or your hen, a golden egg-laying hen, it's Pakistan knows this very well, that keep on creating problems in Afghanistan, and the money flow and attention that we need, from USA, we will get that. But ISIS is very, ISI, not ISIS, beg your pardon, ISI is very specific here. ISI is not looking for a controlled Afghanistan, completely under the control of Taliban. It wants to maintain this instability. If things are clear, then that's not going to be, that surprising for USA. But when you keep this, the things bit unclear, if it's you have loose ends basically, you don't know what will happen. So that time, that this creates opportunity for ISI. So that's what it has been doing. It is supporting this Taliban and other organizations, but it is also, it's not that severe that this whole government will go away. So this is how Pakistan is rolling here. That's how it is behaving here. And the USA wants to, as I told you, exit this whole thing. But Mr. Trump would like to, exit by registering his name in history, that he is credited for sorting out this Afghanistan problem that is going on from last 17 years. But that is not something that is going to happen in near future. The other thing that I would like to add here is that it's not just USA, Afghanistan. We have our country, right? We are strategic partner of Afghanistan, as we know. Then you have other countries like you have Iran, you have China, you have Russia, you have Uzbekistan. Now, let me give you an example of Afghanistan, China and Afghanistan. Chinese companies have invested heavily in Afghanistan. First thing. Second thing is China wants to protect its China-Pakistan economic corridor, and for that it requires Taliban support, because they have this weird terrorist groups, and to control this they want Taliban to help China. The other thing is when it comes to Uzbekistan, leaders of Uzbekistan are urging this Taliban leaders to have a chat with this Afghanistan government and sort out the issues and things like that. So, and Afghanistan, this Taliban has also changed the way it used to behave. Now they are not destroying schools and clinics and courts. What they are trying to project is that they are trying to project that they too can manage. Their governance technique or their style is a bit more fruitful for people. That's what they are trying to project. So from shadows they are coming out into light. With this difference, now we move on to news items. And the first item that we have is this statement coming from former French President Francois Hollande. He has said that this Reliance company of Anil Ambani was a name that was suggested by Government of India for this offset clause. Now, what this offset clause is all about, very briefly, see, when we are, say, for example, if we want to purchase 100 rupee worth Rafale planes from France, then as per this deal, as per this whole Rafale deal, 50%, you will keep 50% as offset amount. So India is of course buying items from you guys worth 100 rupees. So you promise that you are going to spend 50 rupees at least. Out of that 100 rupee, you're going to spend 50 rupees here in our nation. So this is not something that France will do. This is something that Dassault will do. Dassault is a company from France, and it is the company that is associated with this plane called Rafale, right? So this is how offshore clause works. I hope this thing is clear. Now, the main decision will be taken by Dassault, and government cannot interfere. Means France government cannot do anything about it. It is completely on Dassault whether it wants to go ahead with Anil Ambani company or any other company. But this name is suggested by India, so it can be a big political issue. But I don't. Means my attention will be on this thing, on this offset, right? What offset is all about, and how we are going to get this planes as soon as possible. These are the things that we need to keep in our mind. It was a political thing, after the statement of Rahul Gandhi ji, we saw this a sort of a ripple effect with our French diplomats. Police arrests this bishop on rape charge, and surgical strike day is not compulsory, has been clarified by Prakash Javadekar. Now, agencies, they are going to union. Environment Ministry has decided that, as far as this industries or various different companies and industries, whether they are following or, following these rules and regulations or environment clearance, if they want to get, then we can have this third party, companies, or you can say research organizations and universities and other sort of government associated bodies. They can be empowered so that they can check, they have this authority to check whether these companies are following rules and regulations or not as far as this environment is concerned. And so this is going to be a new way of issuing license, and it also indicates that this fear of corruption and other things, will go away when you have some reputed research organizations doing this job of making sure that a particular company is following rules and regulations or not. CVC seeks CBI files on its special director's plaint, and this is an issue that is going on between both our central agencies. A cyclonic storm day hits Odisha, and you can see here that this ban that was applied on living in partners by Child Adoption Regulatory Authority, it has been lifted. Now they can, means live-in partners, they can adopt kids. ISRO sets up, it is ready for this Gaganyaan mission. And sad news coming from Tanzania. More than 136 people died in Lake Victoria because a boat, this ferry, it became turtle because of extra weight. Its capacity is 100, but it is reported that nearly 400 passengers were there on board. Vietnam's president has passed away. He was suffering from illness for a very long period of time. Former, or you can say opposition leader of Maldives has claimed and blamed that this whole election process was rigged and it's not free and fair. And 12 jihadists, attacks this village in Mozambique, and they have killed 12 people. So it's a very sad thing. I have got vocabulary for you guys: impasse, ratified, rhetoric, mockery, and referendum. Yesterday I asked you a question about visits of our president and vice president, recent visit in this European countries. Today I'm going to take it to next level. Can you give me the name of those countries that are landlocked here? I'm not talking about every country. I'm talking about those countries that are visited. There's 6 countries. Out of these 6 countries, how many countries are landlocked? And give me the capitals of all the countries that are these 6 countries basically. And these are your answers. These are your 3 new questions. That's everything in today's discussion. Enjoy your studies. I'll see you tomorrow. Jai Hind.